Recording is on.
Hola, hola, welcome to the weekly DXdev developer call, 10th of January 2023. We are going to do the usual roundup over all DXdev products, and then we are going to have a short presentation by Federico Nani, which is going to be one of our new Solidity developers. So yeah, that will be everything for today. Let's start with the project roundup. Ross, can you start with DXcode?
Yeah, sure. I don't think there is much different from last week. We're continuing our data architecture migration over to the system that lets us better support both multiple data sources as well as multiple governance systems, which is going pretty well and mostly on track. Aside from that, we're still kind of growing into the monorepo. There's some things that aren't set up properly yet, but we have started using it as the main repo for Divi and the subgraphs. Right now, the contracts are just referenced to their original repo. And I think everything's exciting. We'll probably cut a release branch this Friday, mostly just some small quality of life upgrades to Divi, mostly related to the forum and social aspect, just because the rest of the team's been working on that data migration stuff.
Yep. Okay, great. From the contract side, we have some minor pull requests open on the DXdev contracts repository related to some very small changes that we have to do on the ERC20 gears. And these changes won't affect the current functionality of the gears in Divi, and we will likely redeploy everything once we have the new create2 deployer and everything and the new proxy deployer implemented in a few months, where we will be deploying the new, a slightly updated version of the ERC20 gears. We have been talking about ROS with that, but right now the gears are working, I would say, so far good enough on the project. We share the testing, the URLs that you can use to start testing, submitting issues and bugs. So yeah, there is going to be a lot of time, a period of time where we are going to be testing the new application as internally. And regarding the Yes, Adam. Yes, I was talking with the guys from Omega. We are going to be receiving the smart contract final audit today or tomorrow. That's what they told me. And yeah, after that, after we apply the changes, that will be for the DAO smart contract. The guilds were previously audited by Sigma Prime, and the audit is public. It's in the document section, and yeah, that was previously audited. The thing that they are updating right now is they are working on the alarm here on the house. It's not like someone is breaking in. Okay, and what they're working right now is on the audit of the DAO smart contracts that we are going to receive the final audit very soon. And I think that will be it for DXcode related to the DAO contracts audit. We are going to be sharing it, soon after we receive it and we submit all the fixes that we need to do on the DAO contracts. Okay, maybe we can move to Swapper then.
All right. Yeah, sure. For Swapper, I don't think they have like super major things in terms of like development, but we just did the release for beta 18. I'm just gonna link it here if you want to check the new stuff. So we added like velodrome on optimism, limit order via cow. Obviously, we were blocked by a lot of things from Kowtoon with like the ES6 modules, etc. And then we enabled pro trading, or this was enabled like this in this release, but it was always in the production since 17. But you had to go to like a custom URL to enable it. Other than that, we transferred the repos from level K to Impeccable IHQ. Then like Benki is starting like a new project dashboard, so we can have like a true or similar to Kanban style, where you have like to-dos and progress review, QA, and then you have the done, just to basically improve efficiency among the team. And then I think probably not much of things happening in terms of development. We're just working on improving the limit order. We're adding like a few more events to Fathom. And that'll be everything I would recall.
Okay, I guess the big features here will be the advanced trading view and support and cow swap support, right?
Yes, yeah. And actually, this release already is on Alchemy. It's already boosted and voted on, so it should be going live about tomorrow or Thursday.
Yeah. So we have the proposal setting the ENS content hash for production, and yeah, good. Yeah, it should pass very soon.
Yep.
We are using the multi-call for that, right?
The constraint multi-call, yeah.
Yeah. So, well, I think we talked with Dave in the support or general channel. So there has been a talk about deploying a new multi-call that is going to be just quicker. It's going to be faster for a few addresses that we need to interact. One of them will be the ENS. What's the name of this? A public registry or
Public resolver.
Yeah. And ENS public resolver, exactly. One of these will be to interact with this contract and some any other more contract that we need to interact. ENS resolver, cow swap, web, USDC. Okay. Maybe this will be something that we should be working this week on DXdev. Yeah, maybe more. Maybe we should create the DAO talk topic and propose the addresses that we want to interact with, right? So if someone else wants to propose a new address to us to add to the multi-call, we can do it. And this can be exactly the same multi-call as that we have deployed in mainnet. I guess the process will be very similar to the ones that we use deploying the contributor reward. In terms of DXvote, we will only need to add it on the configuration files in order to be indexed before it passes. And I guess we will need also to do some change on the Alchemy side, right, Adam? Because you have a file where you have pre-configured all the schemes that you need to index on.
Not me, but the way Alchemy works, or the subgraph for Alchemy works, that you have the base contract, so that'll be a multi-call, and then you have the funding and voting power, which was the alt, or maybe the genesis of contribution reward. And then you have I think the controller, and then the voting machine, the two of them. And then for every other DAO, for example, like for DXDAO, we have like the DX swap layers. Those are also has to be included in the subgraph. Otherwise, you'll not be able to index those. So for us, I'd imagine it would be about 2.5 days of just waiting time once we deploy the subgraph, and then probably you're good. You should be able to see the new schemes. Actually, if you register a new scheme today and go to plugins, it will say that there is a new plugin, but it cannot decode it because it doesn't have any information on it.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Same for the DXvote. We have a configuration file. It will be just changing the configuration file there, and we will be able to see the change right away. Let's see. Maybe yeah, it will be great to deploy a new multi-call very soon. Let's plan to add it next week. Maybe create a talk topic about the new addresses that we think we need for the new multi-call, and then we deploy it next week, at least. Okay, that was everything from. Sorry, we derailed from Swapper, but yeah, very cool release. Lot of good stuff. The pro trading view is awesome. I've been using it a bit locally, and it was great. I haven't used in the limit orders of via cow yet, but okay. If there is anything else from Swapper, maybe we can move to Carrot. We have Diogo and Benki here. Okay. Only Diogo. Only Diogo then. Okay, he's connected. Seems like something's not working. And he's gone again. Okay, microphone not working. Okay, well, maybe let's leave for later if that doesn't work.
Hey, are you listening?
Ahora sí, yes.
Okay.
Sim.
Okay, nice. The micro wasn't working, the permissions, whatever. Yeah.
Okay. Can you hear him?
Sorry, I mute myself.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Mostly we are still building our UI library that is used across our repos. Like the main repo is Carrot mono repo. We also have another one that is RC20 KPI token template. And yeah, we still adding new components, adding dark mode, stuff like that. Also, Federico started to work on data fetching. So we first did with mock data. Now we are moving to real data. And yeah, I don't have a preview working today. Probably we'll at tomorrow or after tomorrow, because we've been refactoring some components. I can share with you, but it's a bit broken right now. Let me check. Yeah, it's broken.
Right.
Yeah, but the preview will update this week. Probably we'll have like the landing page as the design this week, and we are also starting to work on another page. But we are building the foundational components mostly, yeah. And that's it, yeah.
Yeah, I saw the new designs and they look awesome. Like,
yeah, they are really.
Yeah, they look very cool. So yeah, the idea, and I was following up, was what's happening on Kibis on your discussions on development. So the main idea of having an ERC 20 KPI template repository separated from the mono repo is that so new organizations or users will be able to fork that repository and create their own ERs and their own templates that can be easily added on the Carrot application, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I've been talking. Actually, I did on development channel, because I was still with some doubts why the repo was separated. But yeah, I think it's to make it easy for third parties to build their own version of the template, and deploy it on their own and doesn't have to have to be connected to monorepo, and that will make it easy for people to build their own templates and deploy them.
Okay, great. Yeah, that sounds great. Regarding access to GitHub, where we have been talking about that in the past call. I talked with Federico. He mentioned that if anyone wants to check out the code or have access to the GitHub to see what's happening, you can just request access. Maybe you can do it even publicly on the development channel, and yeah, access should be granted. The main reason to protect the code is to basically protect the code now before release. So yeah, we talked with Federico about that. I think it is valid to have the code protected before release and make it open source once it is available to the user and to the public. So yeah, if you want to check out what's happening on Carrot and have access and check out to the Carrot code, again, just ask for access on the development channel, and you should be granted as long as you are a DXdev contributor, right? So, yeah. And for last thing, we have Federico Nani. Federico Nani is going to be a new Solidity contributor, Solidity developer for DXdev that is going to be helping us on DScope and Swapper related tasks. And one of the things that I told him to start researching and implementing and see how it will work will be a Zodiac ERC20 gear, where we can onboard Nosy Safe users or integrating Nosy Safe to be governed by an ERC20 gear. So yeah, I leave Federico. Faye, if you want to share screen, show the pull request on what you have been working on. It's still on draft, but it is very interesting. And also, please, if you can go from the low level on how, if you can explain a bit how Zodiac integrates with Nosy Safe, the difference between Zodiac and Nosy Safe, and what was the approach that you took.
Yeah, sure. So there are basically two different integrations that we are working on. One is the case in which maybe projects that are starting with a gradual decentralization roadmap, they start with a multisig in Gnosis chain. In Gnosis Safe to manage their assets and their contracts and all of that. And at some point, they might decide to convert this multisig into a DAO. And when that happens, sometimes it's not so easy to make that transition. So in the recent month, there has been a lot of development around that, like creating modules for Gnosis so that people can easily convert multisigs into DAOs. So for example, there's a Open Zeppelin governor module that has been released, I think, very recently. There is one that I think uses a compound governor, another with reality, Dotitha, and Kleros. So the ecosystem is moving a little bit in this direction. So the idea was to create an implementation of a guild that allows teams to do precisely that, to control a Gnosis multisig through ERC20 voting. And of course, we want to keep the permission registry working also for this multisig. So I don't know how many of you are familiar with smart contracts and the ERC20 guilds smart contracts, but we can skim together through this implementation. Give me a sec.
Sorry, Faye, if you can share the screen and show us a bit on the Zodiac ERC20 guild implementation. So basically, a Nosy Safe, a Nosy is an avatar that has modules registered. Correct me, Fede, if I'm wrong. But that had modules registered, and these modules have access to the avatar, right? And they can execute stuff. Very similar to what to the avatar that we have in DXL, right? Where the avatar is controlled by a controller. So this will be a new module, right? That will be able to interact with the NoC Safe. So you register this module, and these modules connect with an ERC20 guild.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So this would be the implementation that allows this conversion. If you are familiar with the ERC20 guilds, you probably know that there's a feature to create proposals that are then voted by the token holders, and eventually they are executed with this end proposal function. So in the ordinary implementation, calls are sent directly from the guild to whatever address you want to interact with. But in the case of interacting with a NoC Safe, you want the transactions to go out from the NoC Safe instead of the guild, and also you want to keep the permission registry features to control what is happening and what is not in the multisig. So basically what I've done here is batch every single transaction into a multi-send format and send everything to this execute transaction from module function, which is part of the NoC Safe avatar. And everything related to the permission registry is included there, so that no call that is not previously allowed will be possible to execute. Does anyone have any question about this?
Yeah, to also summarize this, the multisend will on the multisend here you need to pack all the calls that you need to execute, right, on a waterfall, right? So the first thing that you are going to that we're adding here on the course to be executed from the NoC Safe avatar, not the guild itself, not the address of the guild, but the address of the NoC Safe. We are telling the NoC Safe to execute this set of calls. The first call is going to be set the ERC20 balance, and the permission registry is going to keep track. Okay, these are the ERC20 balances before the calls started. Then we sent all the calls that we want to execute in order. If we want to, between each call we set the permission use. So saying that, hey, this call is going to be this call is going to be done, and we do it. And then we check the ERC20 limits, right? So all this is going to be executed in one multi-send call by the NoC Safe.
Yeah, exactly. So what this means is that the guild itself doesn't hold any assets. It's simply used for voting and executing proposals. So that's basically the idea of this implementation of the Zodiac guild. Let's go to the other implementation.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So the other use case we are working on is one in which we want to make it possible for any existing guild to manage and control any safe. So that's actually possible right now. If we have a working guild and we whitelist in the permission registry a given avatar, for example, a given safe, it's possible to execute any possible transaction from the safe without restrictions. But the problem with that is that we are not using the permission registry features to whitelist transactions that are happening from the multisig itself. So we want to keep that functionality. And for that, this is not really, I'm actually doing a bit of a refactor here, but the idea is that there is going to be an intermediary module that is going to relay the transactions from the guild to the Gnosis safe. So with the same concept that we are going to batch together transactions and wrap them with the permission registry functions, we are going to multi-send that to the Gnosis safe as well, and that will allow any current guild to control any Gnosis safe with a few simple steps. So yeah, the logic is very similar to the other one. It like wrap everything together, make sure that every function is checked against the permission registry, and that's basically it. So that's basically what we've been working on regarding the Zodiac guilds.
Awesome. Yeah, this looks great. Of course, this is still in experimental state. We have a draft pull request, and we are going to be reviewing it closely in the following weeks. The idea is to have, again, these two approaches ready to see if we are going to only use one or both of them to migrate from Gnosis Safe to guilds, or allow guilds to use also a Gnosis Safe. So these are the two approaches that I recommended to Federico, and he was working on this on his contributor trial period. So,
Hey,
yeah.
Augusto, can I ask a question?
Sí.
Yeah, Federico, thanks. That's awesome. So you were mainly speaking with regards to ERC20 guilds. Is that same ability and technology of Davi governance layer taking control of a safe possible with ERC20 guilds and with rep guilds, and then also potentially a combination of the two, or just ERC20? Like you could do the same thing with a rep guild, right?
Yeah, as far as I know, it will work with any guild. So if your guild has the ability to send transactions to any address, then this will work.
Cool. Yeah, this is awesome. And yeah, this helps bring the relevance of Davi and the governance layer to pretty much a much wider percentage of the space, everyone who already has their multi-sigs and things. This gives us a better on-ramp, and we'll get Zodiac to promote this and like share this into the community as well.
Dave is asking, so a guild will be a signer on a safe?
Not exactly. It depends on how are you planning to use the Gnosis safe together with the guild. For example, in the case in which a project is using a multisig and then wants to make the transition to a guild governance, eventually what they can do is remove all designers of the safe, so that every single action in the multisig is controlled by guild proposals. So in that case, yeah, it would be like a signer, but it's not exactly a signer. It's a module which has a different path to execute transactions, but the concept, yeah, it's like a signer.
Okay, great. Thanks, Fede. This looks awesome. We still need to continue working on this. This is in draft status, but I thought it was something very interesting to start sharing with the community. And yeah, if no one has any question, this will be everything for today's weekly developer call. Okay, guys. Thanks for joining. I see you on Keybase. Gracias. And